Okay, so you want to live like a Hollywood star. The premieres, the mansion in the hills, the private jet to Cannes, the magazine covers, the $20 million paycheck for a single movie. From the outside, it looks like the most glamorous money in the world. Cash that flows in faster than anyone could possibly spend it. But here's the strange part. Some of the highest paid actors on the planet have gone broke. And the reason isn't recklessness alone. It's that the economics of stardom are far more brutal and far more unstable than the red carpet suggests. By the end of this, you'll understand how a star's paycheck actually works, why the headline number is a fiction almost nobody keeps, what it truly costs to maintain the image, and why the whole business rests on a foundation that can vanish between one film and the next. Let's start with the paycheck, because that's where the illusion begins. When you read that a star earned $20 million for a film, that's usually the upfront fee, the guaranteed salary paid regardless of how the movie performs. And at the very top, those numbers are real. Established A-listers routinely command upfront fees in the range of $20 to $30 million for a major film. But the upfront fee is only half the story, and often the smaller half. The real money for the biggest stars comes from something called back-end participation, or points. Here's how it works. Instead of taking only a flat fee, a powerful star negotiates a percentage of the film's revenue, sometimes of the gross, sometimes of the profits, after the studio recoups costs. This is where the legendary paydays come from. Tom Cruise reportedly took a relatively modest upfront fee for Top Gun. Maverick, somewhere around $12 to $14 million, but because he had negotiated a share of the box office and the film grossed over $1.4 billion worldwide, his total earnings from that one movie have been estimated at around $100 million. Robert Downey Jr.'s deal for Avengers Endgame combined a roughly $20 million base with profit participation, and as the film passed to $7 billion globally, his total is widely estimated to have reached well into the tens of millions, by some accounts approaching 75 to 100 million. But notice the catch buried in that structure. Back-end points are a bet. If the movie is a hit, they make you spectacularly rich. If the movie flops, they can be worth almost nothing. An actor who takes a smaller upfront fee in exchange for points is gambling on the film's success. That's fine when you're Tom Cruise attached to a guaranteed blockbuster. It's a very different proposition for everyone else, and it means that even at the top, a star's income can swing wildly from one project to the next, depending on how the audience responds. There is another wrinkle that makes even back-end deals less generous than they sound. Studios are famous for the accounting practice sometimes called Hollywood accounting, where a film that grossed enormous sums on paper never technically turns a profit once the studio loads in marketing costs, interest, and distribution fees. A star whose points are tied to net profit rather than gross can watch a hit movie report a paper loss and pay them nothing on the back end. This is why the most powerful stars insist on a piece of the gross, paying from the first ticket sold. Only a tiny handful of names have the leverage to demand that. For everyone else, the promise of profit participation can quietly turn into a share of a profit that, by design, never appears. Now let's talk about what happens to that headline number before it ever reaches the star's bank account, because this is the part that shocks people. A Hollywood star doesn't work alone. They sit at the center of a team, and that team takes a substantial permanent cut of everything the star earns. The industry standard breakdown looks roughly like this. The agent takes around 10%, the personal manager takes around 10 to 15%, the entertainment lawyer takes about 5%, and the business manager, who handles the finances, takes another 5% or so. Add it up, and something in the neighborhood of 25 to 30% of a star's gross earnings goes to their representation before anything else. On a $10 million fee, that's $2.5 to $3 million gone immediately, off the top, and that's before taxes. A top earner in a high-tax state like California is paying substantial federal and state income tax, which can consume a large share of what remains. The rough shape professionals describe is stark. Between the team's commissions and the tax bill, a significant chunk of a headline paycheck simply evaporates. This is exactly the point the actress Sydney Sweeney made publicly, that despite being famous and in demand, the money is far tighter than the public assumes, because the non-discretionary costs pile up and, unlike a fixed salary, the income isn't guaranteed to keep coming. She described taking deals not out of pure choice but out of financial necessity, and pointed out that a publicist alone can cost more per month than a mortgage. So already the $20 million fantasy has shrunk dramatically. But we haven't even started spending yet, and this is where the lifestyle itself becomes a machine that devours money. To live like a star, you're expected to look like one, and appearances are expensive on a scale most people never consider. Start with the house. The Hollywood mansion isn't just a home, it's part of the brand. Estates in the most desirable areas of Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hills, Bel Air, Malibu, routinely run from tens of millions of dollars into 9 figures. But the purchase price is only the beginning. A large estate carries enormous ongoing costs: property taxes, insurance, security, landscaping, staff, and maintenance on a property that may exceed 20,000 square feet. Maintenance alone on a mega mansion can run into hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And many stars own more than one home, in New York, in London, somewhere warm, each one its own recurring expense. Then there's the team of people who maintain not just the property but the person. Beyond agents and managers, a working star often employs personal assistants, a chef, security personnel, stylists, hair and makeup artists, trainers, and publicists. The publicist deserves special mention because reputation in Hollywood is an asset that has to be actively defended. Top public relations firms can charge tens of thousands of dollars a month to manage a star's image, handle press, and control the narrative. That's a permanent cost that continues whether or not the star is currently working. Now add the visible luxuries, because those are effectively part of the job. The private jet is the ultimate status symbol, and it is ruinously expensive to operate. Even setting aside the purchase, running a private jet with its crew, fuel, hangar, insurance, and maintenance can cost well over $1 million a year. Then, the wardrobe, the appearances, the travel to festivals and premieres, much of it expected, much of it out of pocket unless a brand is paying. The image that looks effortless is, financially, anything but. So let's put the pieces together, because the arithmetic is unforgiving. A star earns a large but irregular income, loses roughly a quarter to a third of it to their team, loses a large further share to taxes, and then spends heavily on a lifestyle where much of the spending is fixed and ongoing. The homes, the staff, the security, the image. The mansion doesn't get cheaper in a slow year. The publicist still bills every month. The jet still needs maintaining. And here is the fault line that runs under the entire structure. The income is not reliable, but the costs are. This is the single most important thing to understand about the economics of stardom, and it's why famous, wealthy people go broke. An actor's earning power depends on staying in demand, and demand in Hollywood is famously fickle. Careers cool, films underperform. A star who commanded $20 million a picture can find, a few years later, that the phone rings less often and the offers are smaller. But the lifestyle built during the peak years, the estates, the staff, the standard of living, doesn't automatically scale down to match. When a high income built on fixed enormous costs suddenly drops, the gap can swallow a fortune with frightening speed. There are well-documented cases of A-list stars who earned tens of millions and still ended up in serious financial trouble, precisely because the spending was calibrated to a peak that didn't last. There's a deeper structural reason for this instability, and it explains why the smartest people in Hollywood eventually stop relying on acting fees alone. Acting income is essentially a series of one-off jobs. You are only as secure as your next project. That's why the wealthiest people in the entertainment industry are rarely the actors. They're the owners, the producers, the studio executives, the people who hold equity in the films and the companies rather than just collecting a fee for showing up. Analyses of the industry's richest figures consistently find directors, moguls, and founders at the top, not performers. The actors who build lasting fortunes tend to be the ones who turn their fame into ownership. That's the real lesson hidden inside the glamour. The stars who endure financially are the ones who stop thinking like employees and start thinking like businesses. They launch production companies so they own a piece of what they make. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck co-founded a studio, and Damon's earnings in recent years have come substantially from owning equity in projects rather than just acting in them. Adam Sandler built a production company and struck a massive multi-year content deal, turning his stardom into a durable enterprise. Others convert fame into businesses entirely outside film, spirits brands, cosmetics lines, tech investments that keep generating money long after a particular movie fades. The paycheck is fragile. Ownership is what lasts. So could you actually live like a Hollywood star? Let's be honest about the full picture. At the absolute top, when the hits keep coming and the back-end points pay off, the money is genuinely staggering, and a handful of stars earn enough to fund almost any lifestyle imaginable. But that top tier is astonishingly small. The average age of the highest paid actors skews toward established veterans who have been proving their box office draw for decades, and even they live with the knowledge that it can end. For everyone below that rarefied peak, the math is far tighter than the image suggests. A large gross paycheck, shrunk by a third for the team, shrunk again by taxes, and then stretched across a lifestyle whose costs never pause. The truth is that living like a Hollywood star is less a level of wealth than a high-wire act. It's earning enormous, unpredictable sums while paying for a permanent, expensive image, and betting that the demand keeping you aloft doesn't fade before you've converted your fame into something more durable than a paycheck. The ones who understand that build ownership, diversify, and quietly live below their peak. The ones who don't sometimes discover painfully that in Hollywood the spotlight is rented, never owned, and the moment it moves on, the bills are still there, waiting. The glamour is real. So is the fragility underneath it. And that fragility, more than any single paycheck, is the thing the red carpet is designed to make you forget.